Hi friends, this is Amanda here with another fun and easy science, technology, engineering, and math, so STEM activity that you can do at home. So tomorrow is Earth Day. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how we can be helpers for the Earth. So one of the biggest ways that we can help the Earth is by preventing or cleaning up pollution. So what is pollution, you may ask? Pollution is when you do something to the natural environment, so nature, that hurts it. So that could be like dumping trash on the ground, an oil spill, pouring chemicals in the water, a factory or a car, the exhaust coming from a car or smoke coming from a factory, or it can be like light or noise pollution. So like the lights from a city or the lights or the noise from a city interfering with the animals that live in the forest. And it could also be as simple as just leaving your porch light on all night. So how that can mess with the animals who live at night or who come out primarily at night to hunt. So now today we're going to be focusing on water pollution. So we have a little activity that I've arranged for you guys to kind of explain about what water pollution looks like and to kind of think about it. So the first thing that you're going to need to do this activity is a plastic container filled with water. Now you don't have to fill it all the way up, you just have to fill it up part of the way. So I have mine, a few inches, enough to make, have a good amount that you have a good amount at the bottom. So second thing you'll need some tools. Now, tools I have some tongs. I have like a pasta scooper, a slotted spoon, and then I have some tweezers that came with a science kit. So now next you'll need some trash. So I have some cans, some bottles, some tops to containers, a toilet paper container, plastic bag, some pots, some flowers I bought, things like that. And you'll need a container to kind of put them in. I have holes in mine so the water will kind of drain out. So next you'll need a couple tablespoons of dirt. So I have my dirt in this little test tube. Then you'll need about, 3 coffee filters. So here's 1, 2, 3. Also, if you want, you can use like a fine mesh sieve if you want to. Just depends on what you want to do. So then you'll need a funnel. And then lastly, you'll need 2 containers. So I have these beakers / flasks from a little science kit I borrowed from school. So I'll use the skinny one here, the one with the skinny top, to put my funnel, my coffee filter in. I'll use this one to pour. So that's for step 3 of the experiment, so we'll put that aside for now. So first thing you'll do is you're going to set it up. This is your lake. This is your body of water. It's a beautiful lake, isn't it? It's clear, you can see all the way to the bottom. So first thing you're going to do to your lake is you're going to pour trash into it. So you can have your kiddos do this. Just pour it all in. Not so clean anymore, is it? So good questions good observations for your littles to make at this point is, how do you feel about the water now versus how you felt about it when there was no trash in it? Would you want to swim in this water? Would you want to drink this water? And those are questions that we're going to be asking again and again throughout this experiment. So you dump your trash in, and if you're doing the third step of our experiment, you also dump your dirt in. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So, and again, you can ask your littles, how do you feel about this? Does this make you feel sad or happy if this was the lake you had to swim in or had to live in? Hopefully their answers will be, it doesn't make them feel very happy. So you kind of mix it up. So, and as you can kind of see from there, I know it's a bit far, joys of using a cell phone camera. So, but our water is quite dirty at this point. So now comes the time where we use our tools. So this is the part where your littles really get to be helpers. So we're going to help this lake by cleaning it up. So how they're going to do it is they use the tools. If they're super young, don't quite understand, can't quite use the tweezers, things like, or the tongs, you can let them use their hands. But if you want to work on some fine motor, you can use the tongs. So they're going to take the trash out. If you have some kiddos who are not really into sensory stuff and don't like to touch dirty things, you can give them some gloves to kind of, help ease those fears. My favorite thing is using the tongs for this, but like I said, you can also use a spotted spoon. Some things like this empty pill bottle will be easier to take out like that. I would not recommend using like aluminum can, not aluminum, steel cans, like soup cans or cat food cans, simply because those edges are really sharp. And like we feed our cats with like the steel cans like that, and I've cut myself more times than I am really proud to admit. So I wouldn't recommend using those. And I would even be cautious about using the aluminum. So you just let them do this as much, get it all out. If they want to, they can dump it back in. Your cardboard, if you have anything cardboard in there, it will get kind of soggy, but that's okay. So just let them clean it out. So we've got most of ours out at this point. We'll have to leave let me see if I can get all of this. So you can let them finish, you can let them redo it as many times as they want to, just for some water play. But now we're going to get into the third step of our experiment. So we're actually going to filter the water. So this is where your coffee filters, your funnel, and your containers come in. So what you'll do is you'll take one container, and you may have to kind of mix your water up a little because all of my dirt has gone down to the bottom except for the particles up top. So you may need to mix the sediment up just a little bit. Take a sample. I don't know if you can see it, but there's lots of grit floating around in there. So then you're going to take and pour it, and you're going to let it filter through. It's going to filter kind of slowly because there's a lot of dirt in there. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and move up. So we're gonna let that filter through. Now I'm gonna scooch up a little bit. So you can see me a bit better. Like I said, this step takes a minute. This part you can skip if you want to. Especially if you have younger kids who may not have the patience to do this, but some kids will find this extremely interesting, because what happens is that the coffee filter is catching all of that sediment that was in there. So now, depending on the type of dirt you use, the type of sediment you use, you can do this up to 3 times, which is why I said 3 coffee filters. So it appears that my coffee filters, the brown ones from Kroger, are apparently super awesome and are really good about filtering out stuff out of the water. So once again, you'll ask your kiddos, would you want to drink this water? Would you want to swim in it? If you were a fish, would you want to live in it? Is this water cleaner than the water in our container? So, show you our water, a little close-up of our water in our container. You can see it has a whole bunch of dirt in it. You can see this one, you're going to do a little side-by-side, is a whole lot cleaner. So I'd want to drink this water over this water any day. And if we're really comparing, this is a sample of the water I took in the beginning. So if we compare it to this one, they look almost the same. Pretty cool, huh? Now, you can also take out the coffee filter and see how much stuff we filtered out of our water. Pretty cool, huh? Now, in order to keep our water super, super clean and really nice for fish to swim in, for us to drink, and for us to swim in, we have to make sure that we don't put trash in it and that we don't dump a whole lot of chemicals or other things in it, like gasoline from boats or oil from boats, things like that, because that could hurt it. Which is why we filter our water. We do things like we have cleanup days where we pick up all of the trash, things that would be bad for fish, bad for humans too. So those are some ways that you can prevent pollution. Well, ways you can prevent pollution is by not putting all that stuff in the water to begin with. So that's the easy way. Now, if you want to help clean up pollution, some super easy ways that you guys can do that is just picking up trash. So pick up like anything you see on the ground, paper, plastic, cups, things like that. You can do it in your neighborhood, you can do it at school, you can do it at the grocery store. Super easy. Because sometimes, even though that stuff is on the land, it can end up in the water, and that's not good. So, I hope you guys have had fun. I hope you guys have a lot of fun with this experiment and being able to at least play in the water. And I miss you, I love you, and stay safe. Happy Earth Day.